problem is a lot of us, we get into this business and we learn through trial and error. I think mentorship is definitely needed. And so when I was asked 4 years ago to take over where Elizabeth kind of moved on, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So that's the reason why.
And you like getting in front of people and talking, right?
I'm an introvert. Yeah. I'm an introvert, for real.
Okay, and it's opposite day.
I'm so shy.
Okay. No. Okay, so Tony, have you ever done anything like this before?
No, sir.
What was your motivation for getting on this panel and doing this?
They were asking for real world feedback on what it's like to be an independent agent. That's like basically my career. So I was honored to be asked, and hopefully my answers to any questions that are asked are valuable feedback for anybody learning, trying to grow their portfolio.
So we actually, Tony, you and I were speaking a little bit last night about kind of what you expect as far as questions and topics. And I think what the conclusion we came to is that for yourself, who's been in the industry for how long?
20 years.
For 20 years, a lot of what you're going to talk about is things that you probably think and talk about on a daily basis. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no secret. Like we were talking about, like everybody might be looking for like the magic bullet. Like what's the one thing that'll make you instantly successful? The real answer is just work. It's getting out there, putting your face in front of customers, and then doing what you say you'll do, and just day in, day out, making good decisions, and it eventually stacks up to a successful career.
And talk to me a little bit about your feelings on giving back. I think we're probably going to have a lot of newer agents in this, yes. Right? Mm-hmm. So for somebody who's been in it for 20 years, what is about this that intrigues you to give back to people that are just kind of getting into it?
I mean, I just like to help people. I mean, I think that's a natural thing for like any good person wants to see their peers and anybody else succeed. If I can help somebody maybe not make the stumbling blocks, the massive stumbling blocks that I've experienced or I've seen out there, then like I look at that as a massive positive or great positive. Yeah.
Awesome. Stephen, talk to me a little bit about how proud you are of the progression that this particular panel has made, because this is the first time that there's two separate panels, right?
We started in a room 4 years ago with 20 people.
Wow.
And now we're probably expecting almost 300, which ironically, we got to get started because it's almost 10 o'clock.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you guys go get ready. Right? You guys go get ready and get up there, and then I'm going to talk to Angela for a few minutes as well.
All right. Do you mind if I let these people in?
Yeah, let them in. That's fine. You tell me how bad that is on that, Ian. Are we in the right spot? Perfect. All right, Angela and Jenna, how are we?
Great. We're fantastic.
Thank you both for joining me. Are you excited?
So excited. Very excited.
So I want to specify to the audience, the first hour will be the guys, and then we're going to have a very short 7-ish minute break, and then it will be the ladies. And something I would like both of you to talk to me about. Angela, you told me yesterday that the ladies on this panel were handpicked because they're all, I think your terminology was ladies with power. Is that right? So can you tell me?
Powerhouse women in payments. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the panel and kind of the influence that these ladies have on the industry.
Yeah. So it was a little bit last minute for us, this switch on all male, all female. It just happened to work that way because the women that we selected actually run their own ISOs. They run their own ISV. They are powerhouse people that have built a portfolio and run teams at an ISO. So they're women that have been doing this for a really long time that have really succeeded. And so now we're just a panel of women, and it's exciting to have.
So to me a little bit about a similar question to what I asked Stephen. I know that a lot of work goes into this for you, and it's not your full-time thing. You're not getting paid for it, but it helps a lot of people. So talk to me about your motivation for doing that.
Yeah, so I think that most of the panelists that are up here from the late 1900s. And so that means that we have some decades of experience now. And some of us have children that are also in payments or in tech. And it's our time to give back. And so the more that we can help people and teach people and help them grow and succeed, it's fulfilling for us as well.
Jen, a similar question for you. You were chosen, but you had to accept to be on this panel, right? What is kind of your motivation for giving back?
Well, first of all, thank you, Paycast. You thanked everybody else, and you guys are doing an incredible job. So thank you for the consumable media payments.
You hear that?
But you know, when Angela and Stephen brought up contributing to this panel, the first thing I told her was anything I can do to give back, because in the decades that I've been here, it has been a learn and grow environment. And notice in payments, a lot of people that are here and networking, they're here to service and to answer questions, to help elevate the rest of the payments generations that are coming after us. So very important, I think, for all of us, no matter what age, what tenure we're in, any chance you can get to give back to anyone in payments that ask you to participate in great media events. By all means, yes, ask questions, just say yes. And this is how you expand your own network while you're here contributing and asking questions. But also, this is payments. I mean, they don't call it the payment mafia for nothing. Once you come in, you don't get out. But that's because we love what we do. And it is very hard to get out when you love building and creating, being here with everybody. So I'm really excited to be here and contribute as a team.
Did you have panels or mentors or something like that early on in your career that did something similar?
Day one, I have always said yes to everything. And I think that some people may say no to certain things out of fear that you're going to be on stage, fear that you're going to say the wrong thing. But at the end of the day, the fact that you're contributing in payments and you have a voice and you're using it, other people see that, they appreciate that. And it's a good opportunity for all of us to share ideas and grow.
Yeah. Angela, question for you. Prior to this, is the first time that you've kind of emceed, hosted this event, right?
It is.
But you have attended the MLS Forum before.
I have.
And when Stephen was doing it?
Yes.
So what about Stephen's performance made you think, wow, I could probably do this better?
That's not what happened. I happened to be attending with my daughter, and last year before last, and he just did such a great job. But he was up here for 2 hours. I didn't think he needed to change it at all. But after the event, I said, hey, if you ever need help, I'm happy to help you. Mm-hmm. And now I'm co-hosting with him this year.
Yeah, when you asked him if you need help, did you think you'd be
I had no idea. I thought he might have me panel or something, but co-host,
maybe give out some giveaways.
Right? Yeah. It was a little shock, but I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it.
And she's doing an incredible job.
Thank you.
Yes, she is. Is there a particular question that you're hoping to get?
Anything about high risk, since I'm in that business. Obviously, I would love to speak more to the new industries, upcoming verticals. And so, if those questions come along, I'm happy to answer those. But being here, answering any of the questions, we're eager to answer.
Was that my time? Okay, one last question. Is there any questions you don't want to get? You don't have to answer that. I'm just kidding.
No.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Thank you for being here. We're excited.
Thank you. This will be fun. All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay. We are ready. You guys ready up there? Steven, you ready? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm going to throw it to Steven. Let's have some fun.
I'm like Black Church. Come on, y'all got to talk back to me. How's everybody doing today? Thank you. Welcome to the MWAA MLS Forum 2026. We are so happy to have all of you here. I know we had people that had some flight issues, and nevertheless, for those that are here, guess what? It's meant for you to be here. And so this is actually our 4th year of doing the MLS Forum. When we first started in Schaumburg, Illinois, we had 4 panelists and about 20 people in the room. And now we are on the main stage 2 years in a row. We have 8 panel speakers, 2 hosts, and it has been truly amazing. So number one, I want to thank MWAA for allowing a guy like me who has a passion for new agents and a passion for people that love residual income. How many of you guys love residuals? That's not a lot of people. How many of you guys love residuals? There we go. Y'all act like y'all don't get paid for what you do. Come on. All right. So once again, want to thank MWAA for allowing us to have this panel. I'm so proud to be the spearhead for it. I never want to discount or discredit how we got here. The MLS Forum was started by Elizabeth Rucker, who worked for VisiPay. I believe she's still there, and she started this. And when she left the MWAA advisory board, I took over, and it's been truly phenomenal just to be able to pour into one another. Merchant services is one of the few industries where you jump in. Many of us get into it by mistake, right? But it has the ability for us to make a lot of money, but there's not a lot of training and there's not a lot of mentorship. So the MLS forum is one of the few forums that is focused on new agents. And when I say new, I don't necessarily mean within the last year. I talk about within the first 5 years, where you're looking for guidance and you're looking to kind of have iron sharpening iron. So I also want to thank our sponsor, Flex Factor. Those guys are truly phenomenal. They're going to speak during our intermission for about 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure that you guys also visit their booth. I've been so honored to work with Jeremy Keith. He's been amazing. And I'm thankful that they sponsored this. And I also want to thank Angela Suma, who's my co-host. She has been, there we go. Give it Angela Suma. Angela's like, I got one fan in the room. All right. So Angela's helped me out a lot, and we're going to have some fun today. I want you guys to prepare all of your questions. I want you to ask questions. This is an engaging forum. It's not just to be where you hear these 4 gentlemen talk and then bore you to death, right? We want to make sure that we all learn and that we grow from one another. So let's get started. I don't want to take up too much time. I want to introduce these gentlemen that are on the stage. We're going to start from my right, your left. A gentleman on the end to my extreme right. His name is Jonathan Young. He is with PayBright. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. We also have Carlos Nieto, who is from CanPay. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you all. We have Jason Isidore from Summit Payments out of Phoenix, Arizona. Let's give him a round of applause. And lastly, we have Tony Drescher, who goes by the name Tony the Credit Card Guy. He is out of Pennsylvania. What part of Pennsylvania again? Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Go Steelers or no Steelers? Somebody said no Steelers. I'll give you that. We're in Chicago. See, I like, what's your name, sir? Bill, me and you going to be tight. All right, cool. So let's keep it going. So what I want to do with the panelists, like I said, we have 2 panels. You can even call it the guys versus the girls. The girls, they're going to bring it. So make sure you stay for both panels. But the guys are just as sharp as well. What I want to do, and the first question I want to ask each of you is I want you to introduce yourself. Tell me how long you've been in payments, and also what you feel is the greatest value of where we're at right now in 2026. So whoever wants to take that first, once again, tell me your name, tell me where you're from, how long you've been in payment, and the greatest value that we think payments are right now. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Just want to make sure everybody can hear me. Okay, my name is Jonathan Young. I am the Vice President of Sales at a wonderful company called PayBright. I've been in the industry almost 19 years now. And yes, 19 years. It's been a long time, and it shows. But I will say that the greatest thing I think that is probably we're seeing today is technology is truly changing the culture of how we do sales. I think that right there is our biggest struggle today, and hopefully we'll get a chance to bring that to the table and help you all out.
Okay, got it. Carlos, we'll go with you next.
I'm Carlos with Campy Consulting, been around since 2009. When I got in, the company I started working for had the largest breach in the United States ever. So that was the toughest 3 years of me being in the industry, but I'm still here because it's amazing. And if you stick with it, you'll see how amazing it is.
Mr. Isidore.
Yeah, my name is Jason Isidore. I am the founder and owner of Summit Payment Solutions out of Phoenix, Arizona. I have been doing this 18 years. And I love this industry. Everybody that's new in this room, guys, you guys are in the best sales job in the world. Residual income can change your life. I think the greatest value that we have in our industry is it's a large community, but it's a small community, if that makes sense. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's there to help. I love mentoring new agents, new reps, people that want to learn, and that's kind of why I'm sitting up here. So great industry, guys. So if you're in this room and you're brand new, you're in the right room.
Awesome. Tony?
Tony Drescher. I've been in the industry since 2006. I worked my way from W-2 sales agent to 1099 to ISO owner. Generated about 3,000 accounts personally signed by myself, and probably sold another 12,000 merchant accounts through some different acquisitions. What I like most about the industry is that it is ever changing. It's not static by any means. There's always an opportunity, and if you're not afraid of doing work, your income is unlimited. So that's the best thing I think about
our
Awesome.
industry.
Awesome. All right, here's the first question for the panel. This actually came through our Facebook group, and I think I took this question to be the first one because it honestly points out a lot of things that many of us forget. Jonathan, you mentioned that you were in the industry for almost 2 decades, and just hearing the length of experience that all of you have. But let's go back to the beginning, when you first started out. What made you stay in the industry, and what were the hardest things that you had to deal with?
Well, when I started in this industry, I knew nothing about it. So if there's anybody here that is coming from a totally different career, I'm one of those people who made that transition. I started out in the architecture industry. I have a degree in architecture. I do not use it anymore, as you can see. But the great part about this industry, of what I have, I guess my mindset has changed and kept me in this industry, is for the fact that when I first started, I started with a company that wasn't very ethical. That was my first experience with it. And as easy as it was to be able to go right back into architecture or find something, and this happened after the 06, 07 crash, by the way. And that's, I found myself without a job, but I had to go find something. Sales was easy money, fast money. And so I jumped into it, not knowing what it was, found out very quickly on that this was a company that was not taking care of the people I was signing up. And so that was kind of my first change in my mindset of wanting to stay in it. I'm like, you know what? I really want to go and help save these merchants from all of these bad companies like the one I was with. And so I went independent, did very well. 5 years later, things are going, just amazingly well for myself as an independent agent. Learned POS, selling terminals, saving these merchants one at a time. But I was stricken with cancer. Actually, it was on a July, just like this month, on a Wednesday, that I was at an appointment, that I was kind of straightening my collar, and I felt a large lump on my neck. That fear came through, and boy, was it something that I just didn't know what to do. So my mindset changed at that point to more like trying to save these merchants to just surviving. I went, got checked out, long road of treatments, 1.5 years or so. But I could have easily just gotten out and done something else. But I was still determined to go out and do what I initially wanted to do, which was go out and really help a lot of these businesses that were being harmed. So now I transitioned from surviving to rebuilding. And now I'm seeing some of the best years of my life, my career. I actually changed verticals just so I can have a little more time with my family, because I had a new life and a new view on life a little bit. And so I started dealing with things that were more 9-to-5 kind of merchants, and gave me a lot of my life back. And now I saw people needing or wanting help from me, and so I started giving help, started building a team. And that's where actually PayBright came into play, is where I needed better solutions and things to kind of give them so they can go out there and really do their job very well. And eventually Dustin kind of saw the best in me and said, how can you help people across the country just, do what you've done, but without all the stumbling blocks, without all the pitfalls that Tony was saying earlier. So.
Jason, I want to hear from you as well, because you're actually still in the streets. You've been in the streets for, make it sound like a prostitute.
I was going to say, come on, Jason is in the streets. Come on, man. I'm in the streets hustling. I'm hustling.
Jason,
I'm hustling.
Let's start with you.
Yeah.
Your story, where you started, and what kept you in it despite the struggles.
Yeah, I'm 18 years in the game. I absolutely love what I do, man. I wake up every day loving going out and helping small business owners save money, get into a great solution. And so for me, I was a baseball player in college, and I had that competitive drive. I was a Division I baseball player, Chase. They give me a lot of crap for saying that all the time, so bear with us. So when I found merchant services, it was the closest feeling I had to playing baseball. Competitive, me versus me. Go out there, you get out of it what you put into it. So I'm 18 years in the game, and believe it or not, newbies, I still go knock on doors. I love door knocking. I'm a fossil. A lot of us 18 years in aren't door knocking. We hated it in the early days. I've loved it for 18 years, and it's the foundation, and it is the foundation of all my success the last 18 years. I've built a phenomenal business. I've built great portfolio. Most of my clients are some of my best friends. You know, you grow close with them. And so I just love what I do, man. I love knocking on doors, and I just love hustling, man. I'm still grinding 18 years in. I didn't have as much gray hair in my beard when I started, so I'm going to do this for a while.
Okay,
So,
got it.
I love it.
To Carlos and to Tony, either one of you can take this question. When most new people start, this is leading me to this question that just came in as well. Most new people start, because we all fall into this, right? Did anybody ever go to college and say, I want to be merchant services? You're a liar. But most of us fall into it. And the biggest hurdle that person saying is they have a hurdle of trying to balance bankroll their lifestyle while they're building their residuals. Can any of you speak to if you had that struggle when you first started? Did you have a family? Did you have responsibilities? Because when I was a college kid in my mom's basement, and I kind of fell into it. But can any of you speak to that struggle?
Sure. Mine was I had like PS business, and I was shutting down. I was going through a divorce, and when I closed the store, the Heartland rep came in to pick up her machine, and what are you gonna go do now? I'm like, I'm gonna go sell Toyotas again. It's what I do anything. Why don't you give this a shot? And it was the toughest 3 years ever, because back then, if anyone ran into a Heartland statement, 15 years ago, you're like, I can't touch this. People would just walk away. But that right there, to go from March 2009 to the end of the year, and you get a W-2, and it was only $2,000.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and doing that star pattern driving, going everywhere. I mean, I depleted my savings. I was working third shift at a grocery store. Have extra revenue. There was no Uber back then where you can make up, quick cash in a day. You just had to wait for that $7 paycheck. Yeah. But the struggle for those 3 years, I had to learn a different way, and I went back to the basics. It doesn't matter where in sales you are, but if you go back to the basics, what you learned at the beginning, and then you apply it like a year, 2 years down the road, your eyes open. And one of the things that really transitioned was we've been selling since we were kids. You may have heard that on the Paycast network on my podcast, but the big thing, like I said, is people just don't like being sold to. But whatever it was, whether it was your parent or someone or a teacher, you're like, hey, if I do this, can I get this? So you just had to make it in a way that business owners can relate to you. If you go in scripted, you're walking out with pretty much the same result. Yeah. So those first 3 years, finally a light bulb hit, and then what I noticed was every year my W-2 was doubling. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm at 14,000, so next year should be 28. Yeah. And it was, and then it was 40, and then finally 6 years later, I finally hit the six-figure mark. But what I did learn in that part when I was just a rep, I learned when I became a territory manager that none of my reps would ever suffer what I did in those first 3 years.
Beautiful.
So it's been but stick to it. And if you see that something's not working, just go or even record yourself when you go into a meeting. Yeah. Just play the notes back because you're going to see maybe you talk too much. Maybe the person was ready to close and proceed. And you just kept saying, there's a saying that sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you try to sell the steak and that's it.
Okay. Yeah, to echo a little bit off of what Carlos was saying, for all the newbies in here, your first year is going to be the hardest year of your life.
Yeah. Preach.
You're going to quit.
Yeah.
If you're going to want to quit, that little voice in your head is going to say, listen, man, I'm out knocking on doors. It's hot. I'm not making any money. That residual growth is going to climb every single month, every single year. So you've got to get through the first year and just stay the course. Stay the course, because if you give up, you will not know how good it's going to be on the other side. And I'll tell this story and then I'll let Tony talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Listen, man, I'm not gonna hijack this episode because I like to talk, folks. I talk my butt off. But no, my first year when I was growing my company, Summit Payment Solutions, I humbled myself and I delivered pizzas for Pizza Hut. I humbled myself walking up to doors delivering pepperoni pizzas as I was growing my business by day. And I did that for about 2 years because I had a wife, 3 kids, had to support my family. But damn, that was the best move I ever made. You know, and if I wouldn't have delivered those pizzas, I wouldn't be sitting on this stage. So
We're here today.
I let that slide. That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, I want to ask you your struggles and what kept you in the business in spite of your struggles. Can we go down your road?
I mean, I had I actually started as I was just looking for any type of entry-level professional job. I had a college degree, finance and accounting major, but I had a painting company that was my gig, like my first real, I guess, venture into a career. And after a while, I just got like wanted to find something else and lucked into a W-2 position. One of my mentors, actually, Tom Shanley, he said that he loves this industry because it keeps great salespeople out. And it's for this exact reason.
Expound on that, please.
yeah.
So if you get into a sales job, let's say you're selling medical devices or any kind of widget, it doesn't matter, but you're successful. You're probably a W-2, and then you learn your craft, how to hone your sales skills, and then you start making 6 figures. In this industry, if you go to an independent, you start at 0.
Yeah.
And it's about 90 days. If you have even a successful day where you 10 deals, you're not going to see any income from that unless you sell like equipment or something up front for about 90 days. Residual takes time because merchants have to process, the processors have to bill, and then you get paid. So somebody that's supporting a family or successful on their 6 figures, they can't sacrifice that and start at 0.
Correct.
So you guys that are all here, you've already taken that step. So congratulations.
Yep.
And it's an exciting ride, but it is a lot of work. But the rewards are life-changing.
Yeah, they
You
are.
will set yourself up with the financial freedom that you can do anything you want. So, yeah, I mean, like I did have some shortfalls, but then some major wins. I got latched on or hired on by a great company that was ethical and honest and trained me the right way to sell. And then I took that education, became an independent, and then eventually started an ISO. I'm actually on my 3rd one now. So it's a great, great career. And you can do anything you want. Make your own schedule. If you want to be the high flyer jet setter, you can get there. It just takes a lot of work. I know guys that make $200,000 a month without even getting off the couch. I also know guys that are satisfied making 5 or 10 a month. It's still a good living. So anything you want to do is up to you.
Got it. I appreciate it. I want to take a question from the audience by a raise of hands. How many of you have been in payments for less than 10 years? How many of you have been in payments less than 5 years? How many of you have been in payments less than 2 years? All right, these are people I'm talking to. Keep your hands up real quick. Angela, take count real quick. Awesome. Appreciate it. All right, so for the new agents, because they usually say the average agent or the average salesperson that's in the 1099 model, if they do this business for 6 months, they get to a point where they should be making anywhere between 1,000 or more. The goal is to make more than that. What's the magic number that you guys are seeing as far as when people go from part-time to full-time? Is it more residual amount, or do you guys just see it more from stickability and character of the sales agent? Jonathan, I'll start with you.
Coming from nothing, you're saying part-time to full-time.
Yes.
Coming from nothing, again, these gentlemen were telling you a little bit. I did it. I was laid off from a high-paying job. I mean, everybody got laid off in the architecture industry back then. I mean, there was just no money being done. So I came from having to start over. And when I say that, what's the magic number? The magic number is ever how much it takes for you to live. That's the magic number. But to be honest with you, in 6 months, today's world, very easy to hit 5K. I mean, it's very easy.
Can you expound on why that is?
So with cash discount and all the other programs, that's one way. The other side of all that is that you're able to go after larger merchants with some of the better solutions that are out there. And we'll talk about that hopefully later on, but I mean, I don't want to get too much into that. But honestly, with the different programs, better solutions, you should be targeting larger merchants, which pay out a larger margin, and therefore much quicker time for you to get to that 5K.
And these are guys that have been selling before there was a thing called dual pricing or cash discount, correct?
It was a race to the bottom.
You guys remember the days of
I remember.
Interchange only.
Yeah.
Heck, I go back to 3-tier.
they could talk
I only sold 3-tier back in the day.
Yeah,
you
3-tier.
tiered pricing?
Tiered pricing is all I sold
Pricing,
back then.
yeah.
Tiered,
Yeah.
mid, and nine.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, let's keep going. So we talked about the ability for agents to do very well within their first 6 months. And I do agree with you. I think with the dual pricing platform, we're seeing more merchants passing fees to the consumer. So of course, the level of success is a lot faster now.
Yes.
Does that bring us more good quality agents or more riffraff?
It brings a lot of riffraff. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm there knocking on doors. So I'm my feet in the street, right? So I'm seeing what's out there. I'm seeing what other agents are knocking on doors themselves and talking to business owners and just filling their heads with nonsense. So I think and I'm going to say something, and this is going to be kind of off a little bit. I'm not a big cash discount dual pricing guy. I hate it. I think it's great for our industry. We make great money, but I think at the end of the day, what's that? No, listen. I think that it's brought
your ears.
I know. That's enough. I think it's brought an element of riffraff into our industry that was not there 10 years ago.
Yeah, I disagree with that a little bit. 10 years ago, riffraff was doing leases and they were locking people into 5-year contracts. Like what I think the discount thing, and to me, what it proves is that the framers of our industry are ingenuitive enough to then go for a race to the bottom, which was Interchange Plus. The only reason why you would earn customers is if you could stash the rates.
Yeah.
You're also stashing your profit. Now, cash discount pricing, you put somebody in a fair rate and you get 10 times the profit.
You can. I mean, I think you're right. I mean, I remember lease days. You're right about that. I will say this, though. Cash discount is great for us. I just think that you don't have to be a superstar sales guy to go sell it. Half these agents that are knocking on, you're just going, hey, I'm going to give it to you for free.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have an agent that I'm mentoring right now who's just been doing cash discount, didn't even know how to do an Interchange Plus deal. So he's just walking indoors and basically throwing everything out for free. And so at the end of the day, I just think that there's an element of riffraff associated with that.
I think with the influencers and stuff that are getting into it, a lot of them are just looking at the residual. They don't understand the compliance side of it or how it's hurting the industry. And
Bingo.
They just don't care. So when they get called
Bingo.
and saying $25,000 came out of my bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of those riffraff are like W-2 employees.
No,
They're just paid
no.
overtime for
So-
minutes.
Hold on, you guys all talking at the same time.
Hey now.
I'm sorry to say, but cash discount has to be sold a certain way. I don't think that it's an easy sell. I do believe that it's a great sell. The great part about cash discount is it does give every person, again, I've been in this for a long time. Every merchant always asks me, if I didn't have to take credit cards, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. And this is their golden ticket to be able to do so. But it does still take someone who understands how to be compliant with it and how to sell it. Because other than that, I had probably a poll here. Most of you go out and sell cash discount and you don't do all the stuff you're supposed to do.
Correct.
And
That's
that's
my
the
point.
easy part.
That's
the
my
hard
point.
part is actually having somebody to where they're not going to get flagged or
That's
fined.
correct. That's my point.
And that's what we teach here. And
Yes.
again, that's what I want you all to understand and take away from this is cash discount can be very productive for you and for the merchant, but you cannot just go in there and
gotta
just
do
sell
it
it
right.
as some fee structure because
You
it's
gotta do
not
it right.
a fee structure.
Correct.
Awesome. I love when you
Sorry,
guys
I
banter
just-
with each other.
Got a little banter going, Steve. Come on now.
So with that being said, it sounds like we have a number of different opinions on pricing, but let's take price out of the scenario. What's changing about our industry that these new guys should be aware of? I remember when my son first got into business, he said, well, Dad, how different, what's different from when you started versus now? And I'll give my interpretation after you guys do, but I'm going to ask you first. What's changed now that new agents need to be prepared for? Not what's already happening. Because if you say dual pricing or cash, that's been going on for a while right now. But what's coming down the pike that agents should be prepared for?
I mean, we could talk about everything from AI to crypto and everything else in between. But to be honest with you, I'm still going to be a little elementary in the answer here, because in my opinion, I think technology has still stricken a lot of us who are new to the industry. I think a lot of us have been, focusing on smaller merchants.
Yes.
But I truly believe POS is our hardest struggle at the moment. Everybody knows what POS is. I get that. But how many of you actually sell it as your core product? You see, I get calls almost weekly, if not multiple times a week, from people who are looking to come to PayBright and they've lost a deal to some POS company or something of that nature. And I ask them, why did you lose it? Well, I don't offer something, or who I'm with doesn't have something. I hear it all the time. And see, this is where I come and bring them a little bit of hope and say, look, our POS desk has got you covered. Don't worry about that. But see, 5 years ago, PayBright, roughly 90% of all of our installs were just terminals. That was just 5 years ago. Today, probably nearly 50% of all of those are now system integrations or POS installs. And a lot of these ISOs are starting to understand that, but if they're not careful, they'll get behind on it, and that's only going to hinder all of you who are with them. And our company here is, again, trying our best to make sure that we stay ahead of the game, and our partners are greatly benefiting from it. And I'll tell you exactly why. Because they're allowed to, and now they're giving them the confidence and the empowerment to go out and actually close these large merchants that they didn't think they were capable of doing. And they don't have to do it all on their own. But now they're seeing larger margins. They're seeing higher retention rates. They're seeing, they're being seen as the expert in their area or their field. And it's getting them into some of the biggest and best merchants out there. And therefore, they also have less customer staff to service too, because you're making more money on these deals. You don't have to have as many mids to go out there and really build a successful business. But I truly believe that if you're looking to really see what's going on in the near future, POS will be your only option. And if you don't get on board now, you'll be left behind.
I'm going to add my thoughts later. Carlos, I saw you itching. What are your trends that you're seeing that most salespeople haven't encountered yet, or what's coming down the pike?
Or I say adapt or die, man. With technology, like I said, and we were talking about this yesterday. Just you're in an area where it is mostly terminals, and you're going to run into that. Like, we're all in different places. If you're in a metropolitan area, I'm in Miami, and before that, I was in Durham, North Carolina, and it's a tech hub, right? But look who's also taking over the businesses. All the parents, the grandparents that are moving out. It's the young people that are coming in, and they love technology. They love to see everything on their phone. So that's why you see all these software and vibe coded stuff, and maybe the back end not closing properly. There could be, I don't know. I think we're also going to see a lot more breaches too, because of the quick coding that's going on in this industry. But technology can get you into the door, and you don't have to know everything. Like, one of the big things when I jumped into verticals, I jumped into veterinarian and lodging, and you just have to know some of the things that are being used in the industry. You don't have to know everything. So while you're learning all these different sales that are out there, all technology, virtual terminals, optimization, compliance, you don't have to say everything to the merchant. You just need to sell the sizzle. But if you don't adapt to what's going on, you're going to get left behind.
Do you think that most salespeople should be focused on solving pain points versus features and benefits?
You should understand the pain points. And I think you should also understand the interchange. Just because there's a software that says it's good for this industry, but you look at the back end and everything is downgrading. So do you understand why it affects your residuals? Or you could have like the cash discount deal, or the huge one out there, point of sale right now. A lot of people put in point of sales into supermarkets. Well, have you seen when you do a split tender, if they're EBT, if it adds the tax back in? Because if it's not, then that merchant's, someone's coming back to get them for revenue. And when you got the tax man looking, You know, so you could look at technology, you could look at things that are real pretty out there, but you need to still make sure that it is correct fit for the merchant. Don't just look at your pocketbook. Your pocketbook is going to grow.
I think that's the biggest mistake that a lot of reps make, is that we're so focused on closing the deal and getting the residuals that we're not focused on educating the merchant and helping them. When you become a consultant, I always say this: if you become excellent at what you do, the money's going to follow you. It has to. I think that for newer agents, if you're going to get into this business, you have to become a student of it, and you have to always be engaged in learning.
Always, indeed.
Right? We always have to be engaged in learning. Every day we should learn something. Just like you guys took a shower today, right? I hope you did. If you didn't, I feel bad for the person you sit next to.
Swim in the river.
We take a shower today. You guys took a shower yesterday. You're going to take a shower next week. You got to continue to learn in this business, because things are going to be changing on so many different levels. So I agree with both of you. So POS, software, what about you two?
No, I was going to echo what you said. I think as an agent today, you got to be on your game. I mean, honestly, let's be honest. A lot of these merchants really don't even need an agent. They don't need us. They can just shop for it online. And so as Steven said, you've got to know your game. You got to know your POS systems. You got to know your pricing. You got to know everything. And with that being said, I think you also still have to be a human being and have connection, right? I think that merchants are going to buy from people they trust and people they like. And you still have to be a person. You have to be able to connect with them. But you really got to be on your game in 2026. I mean, these agents are sharp. They're savvy. We've all walked into a meeting where they know more than we know.
Some of the merchants know more than
right? That's what I was just saying. That's what I was just saying is, so you got to be on your game in 2026 and really know your stuff.
Okay.
You really do.
Tony, we got two more questions, and I'm going to go to the audience. Y'all better have some questions, because I'm going to make y'all ask them, right? Tony, what industries are creating the biggest opportunities right now, in your opinion?
Oh, the verticals. I mean, there's, I guess, I don't know, the biggest opportunities would be available, I think, in like probably the medical fields and things like that. All of the new softwares that Carlos was mentioning, what they're trying to do is break into the proprietary relationships so that they can have workarounds to get around like that. You have to use Intuit, or you have to use that software company. So I think that, medical, I mean, like, unfortunately, like the smoke shops and things like that, that's a big hot hit right now. There's only some places that will take it, but I think it's also an expanding market. What do you guys think are the biggest, like, hot button? Like,
I'm a feet on the street. I hit every damn door. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I have never in 18 years been a vertical guy. I go knock on every single door, because behind that door could be the door that changes your life, right? And I'll use an example. I knocked on a little door 15 years ago, and it was a small little roll-up door company, right? It was the dad and his 3 sons. They have been with me 15 years, and they are my largest client. When they first started, my residual off of them was small. I'm not going to say what I make today off of them. I've grown with them.
Jason.
And so from a vertical perspective, you never know what's behind any door you knock on. So go knock on every damn door, and don't be so focused on verticals. Now, if that's your cup of tea, go do it, because in our industry, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. Excuse my language. And so that's the beautiful thing is go knock on every door, man, because every vertical out there could be a potential opportunity to change your life financially.
Carlos?
I say, look at your quality of life. So when I started, it was all the low-hanging fruits. It was retail and restaurants. I mean, at the old company, I still probably have like 400 restaurants, and I'm like, do I bring them over? And I just don't want the phone calls. Internet goes down, they put the paper in wrong. Restaurants call you all the time. It doesn't matter, and they'll scream at you. And learn to fire your merchants. You know, get to that point where you're like, I don't need your account.
Brother.
But the accounts that work 9 to 5 or like heavy volumes, you could walk into a really small 1,200 square foot place and they're processing millions per month. Medical, compounding, pharmaceutical. Walk into the industrial parks, those warehouses that have 200 employees. The office might only have 3. And people don't really walk in. And this is what I was saying, like, if you just learn some industry terms, whether like it's a pick slip, right? A pick ticket for ERP systems.
Yeah.
You don't need to know the ERP. You're just like, but something that just lets them know that, okay, you kind of understand their industry.
Yep.
It just opens the door because they don't understand payments. You do.
Right.
So you're like, oh, they've been with their bank for so many years. Well, how many times have the bank been acquired? How many increases have you gone through?
Yeah.
You know, the rural areas, those are typically the best places, I say, because they don't really get hit on.
Yeah.
It's, I say, you know, walk into an industrial park and don't be afraid to call on the phone. You can hit way more people on the phone than you can knock in. You knock on everybody's door. I know it. But
We're going to get a lot of questions about the phone sales.
code call and get creative with
You
it.
too?
Oh, I'm 100% if I had to start all over.
Closing deals.
You'd be on the phone.
All right.
I'd be on the phone.
Yeah. Breakout session, we can talk to these two guys. 'Cause I'm an in-your-face type of guy.
I am.
You want to do some phone calls now?
Let's do it. I could do it right
I
now.
am too.
All right, here we go. Before we get to the audience, this is a question for all of you, but I'm going to start with you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Imagine there's someone sitting in the audience who's brand new. They're nervous. They're wondering if they'll ever make it in the industry. What advice would you give them?
I'll go a little bit with what Jason said. In the first years, every business you talk to, or you need to speak to every business. I don't care what kind it is. Over time, you're going to learn which ones you connect with best. Actually, let me rewind just a little. If you're coming from a different industry, if you're coming from car sales, insurance, you're a teacher, whatever it may be, you have a specific language that you can connect with certain businesses. Those are the first ones I'd probably go after. Somebody you relate to. If you came from another retail or something of that nature, I'd probably go back to anybody I knew in that. That's the easiest part, in my opinion, because you know their language, you know what their pain points are for the most part. Then, of course, everything in between is going to be anybody and everybody. That's your first mission when it comes to starting your sales. If you're nervous, if you're unsure. The other part, I'll actually kind of give you the things I hope that you don't do. And that is go out there and think that you have to learn everything about merchant services before you go out into the field. Absolutely. Please don't do that.
Preach. No doubt.
I promise you, go out, get your teeth kicked in a little bit. You'll be just fine because you'll learn
Is that a
quicker.
merchant calling?
Yes,
Hold on, let's see him.
Code call number
Let's see
one.
if he pick up. My terminal's broken.
Yeah, right? It's a restaurant, right?
Continue, Jonathan. I will. The phone rings. I'm gonna ask if it's a merchant.
My printer's not working.
Yeah, my printer's not working, yeah. So, but yes, I would say that please understand that going out into the field, just starting the conversation with folks, whether it be on the phone or in person, again, do so. The other side of all that, your sphere of influence, your circle of people, you've got to at least go out there and just introduce yourself and tell them what you're doing now. Don't be afraid to tell them that you're in a new industry. Don't tell them that, don't be afraid to say that, hey, look, I really believe I can help you if you'll just tell me, what I need to solve for you. So in my opinion, in the beginning stages, if you're in this first year, actually, to be honest with you, let me go just a little bit further. If you're in this first year, you're going to go out there, you're going to perfect your craft, you're going to go out there and do your pitch, you're going to go out there and overcome objections, and you're going to go out there and close deals. Second year, who's in here second year? It's 2 years in the business, 2 years. The thing right now is that you repeat every bit of that all over again.
Yep.
The only difference is that you have knowledge and data on your side now. You know exactly why you closed those deals, how you closed them, where the referrals came from, how to take track of all of it. And again, you even notice on which ones you make the most margins on or which verticals are best. By year 3, you're in business building section. This is where things really start to chime in. You're now going to go up there and start building partnerships, recruiting teams. You're going to go out there and get involved with associations or networking, whatever it may be. You might even find out you're not in the right place to even build that. But let me tell you, after that, you should be standing inside of a giant engine room with everything just firing off exactly the way it should be, because that first year agent is thinking, I got to go out and make sales. Again, the bigger producers are out there thinking to themselves, how do I go out there and make sure a sale happens without me even wanting to be in the field today?
Yeah.
And that's where a little bit different, from Jason. I don't mean to point you out here, but right now Jason goes out and does this. A lot of the big business builders out there, you big producers out there, they're not. They've got all this stuff coming in already. Yeah. And so that's where top producers really live, is in that area, is when they're in there building a business rather than just making sales.
Yeah. 1 minute close to Carlos, Jason, and Tony.
All right. Repeat the question.
I'll repeat it one more time. You're speaking to the new person who's nervous, wondering if they'll make it. What advice would you give to them?
I'm nervous today going into some accounts. So the big thing is your competitor looks at you every day in the mirror. That's your true competition. You could think that there's another ISO, there's another bank, there's whoever. Things, there's so much business for everybody that if you already feel that you're not going to get the account, you're not going to get the account. I will say one thing that I did learn is if you're having a bad day, don't go prospecting. People can see if you're desperate for money. They can see if you look at them as a bag of groceries. Salespeople can have commission breath. It's a true thing. Right. No, and you will talk yourself out of a sale. But it's okay to be nervous because the more you do this, you get comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah. And if you don't, like I said, adapt or die, then you're in the wrong industry. Some people may come in from the insurance field and you know everybody, but now that you switch to merchant service, no one wants to talk to you. It's like the same thing, you might be a better referral partner and just get a good split and just not deal with the stress of having to close the accounts. Yeah. So, but I say go back to the basics because many people, especially newbies, they get upset at whatever ISO that they're with. One, they didn't read their contract, didn't understand your Schedule A's, your split, is it a split of a split? You have to understand these stuff, but you really need to understand, I say, interchange, because if you have that merchant that's doing $100 average ticket, let's say it's cash discount, right? And now you signed up an ice cream shop and you're like, wait, it's the same volume, but I'm making $300 a month here and I'm making $2,000 a month here. Interchange, that cost of a penny eats up your margins.
Right. Cool.
But
Jay, you got 20 seconds, and Tony, you got
20 seconds. Right. You're taking all my time. I like to talk, man. Come on, man. I had it all planned out in my head. You done messed my 3 minutes up, man. No, I was gonna say, in the words of Nike newbies, just do it. Action cures fear. Get out there and go knock on doors or cold call on the phone, as Jonathan says. And I will tell you this: I have lived by this adage all the time. All the time. I still live by this, and I have a sign in my office that says this: your attitude determines your altitude. People are going to buy from people they like, and your energy, you can emote phenomenal energy out there, and people will be gravitating to that. So you don't need to know everything. Just go out there and have great spirit. Go get some no's. I always say every no is getting me closer to a yes, so go get your teeth kicked in. I even to this day play a game where I try every week to get 100 no's. That's it. I go in, and if I get a no, I walk out. No, because I know every no is getting me closer to a yes.
Are you married?
What's that?
You're married?
I am. Come on.
Way more than a
James like Tommy Boy.
I don't take no for an answer.
Now, just do it, guys. Go out there, have fun, and go kill it, man. You guys will do it.
Tony, 10 seconds, and we're going to the audience.
10 seconds. Anyway, it was great being here, guys, for you. I would just say, try to work smart, not hard. Identify the decision maker. Don't pitch to people that can't make the decision. Pay attention to the small details because they matter, especially like numbers, EIN numbers, social security numbers, bank account numbers. Save yourself pains.
Don't be afraid to ask for it.
Yeah. It's also, don't be afraid to say you don't know. If a merchant puts you on the spot and you don't have the experience that you need, say, you know what, Mr. Merchant, I don't know that answer, but I'll get it for you. And then that gives you an opportunity to then continue the conversation and potentially close the deal. Also, don't oversell. Know when to push the pen across the table and ask for the close.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we're gonna take some questions from the audience. Hands up. Any questions? You, sir, with the phone. Recording. Are you recording people that are not here?
I don't consent.
I'm not saying. Jessica, hook them up.
Well, we need to get you mic'd up here, so just a second.
For any one of you, what was the hardest lesson you've learned in this business, and what would the younger you, or what would you do to fix that hardest lesson now?
I think the hardest lesson for me was don't be scared. I can remember when I was first starting out, man, I was petrified. I'd sit in my car, I'd pull to my area, I was cold calling, and I would just sit there paralyzed what's the paralysis by
Paralysis by
overanalysis?
analysis, yes.
And so just go out there, have fun, man. Get your butt beat up, get your teeth kicked in, and
Hold on one second. Can we reward the guy with the first question asked against Joe, please?
Yeah.
I think we can.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
This is for you.
That's for you, sir. Okay.
Nice.
Would you like to tell everyone what's inside the
Yeah,
envelope?
let's tell them. 'Cause
Wow.
if these are true salespeople, they'll have more questions.
It's a gift card to Chuck E. Cheese.
Thank you, guys.
gotta buy a few tokens.
Everybody's like, dang, I should ask the question.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
You
is
and
a
Lunch.
morning
after
well
this.
spent.
Jessica, look, you got another question behind you.
Oh my gosh, I have more questions. What's your name?
Adam,
How long have you been in payments?
this is my first week.
ISOs behave.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Thank you, thank you.
How do we know? How do we really know it's his first week? What's in the
Well,
change?
take back that chairs because I'm actually trying to sell to y'all. So I'm really trying to understand everybody. I actually want to pit, I think, Carlos and Jason against each other. Carlos, you said something earlier, which was, if you're having a bad day, don't go out.
Yeah.
And then Jason, you're saying, no, just go do it.
Just go do
what
it.
I hear from in my experience with cold calling,
Yeah.
I lean more towards Jason, which is when you're having a bad day, it's the perfect time to go out and get more no's and get over it. So I'd like you two to battle it out in the Thunderdome
He
for a
gets to keep
second.
the money because he's starting a fight. I want
Yeah. Listen, I'll start. Action cures fear, okay? There have been so many times where I have gotten just destroyed in a door. We've all knocked on a door where we just got ran out with our hair on fire. I then immediately go to the next door because that next door is going to put that last door so far in the back burner that it's going to make it positive. So you just got to keep going, man. And I'm just an activity guy, man. Just go do the numbers, man, because everything else falls into place.
Yeah.
That's it.
I just made that up. No. Back in the day, there was a guy, if he was having a bad day, he would just go see a movie. What I'm saying, if you're having a bad day, but you're taking that into that next business, you should, same thing like if you're walking into your house and you have issues, whatever, put that on the coat hanger or whatever and just proceed. I'm more positive attitude.
Yeah.
I'm like Teflon, man. That's just,
Yeah.
if it doesn't affect me, it's not paying me, it doesn't, matter.
You gotta have a
No.
short memory in sales.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Short.
get 100 no's, but you can't
You
let
are.
that beat you down. You just got to keep going. So
And it's
just
not
like,
personal. They're
All right,
just,
this is the first time I'm actually going to side with Jason on something here.
Oh.
Yes. So, sorry, Carlos. So when I was out in the field, I understand what you're saying, but I would not leave the field.
yeah.
No, don't leave the field.
That was, no. Going to see a movie is leaving the field,
yeah, I agree.
in my opinion. I used to go.
Signing up the theater.
Yeah, unless you're signing the theater. Right. No, right. So I agree. When you have, I believe, and just so you all know, there's not one thing that you can give me an example of how bad your day is. I went through it all.
Yeah.
I've even been, if you see me afterwards, I'll tell you a story that you will think is unbelievable. But I've been roughhoused. I've been picked up and sat outside by a very, very large man.
I'm sorry I did that to you.
Yes. I have been called, like the police called on me to leave, all this stuff. It's all happened and it's going to happen. Okay. Just the way that it is. I'm sorry. That's how tough it is. The thing is that when you leave out of that door, you're supposed to just completely just relax. And if you need to, go to the car, listen to some jamming music, that's your favorite music or whatever. That's what I did. Yeah. And then I went back out because I did not want to take that to the next door. I agree with you there, but on the other side, as soon as you leave that field, it's like getting up and not getting out of your pajamas. Yep. You'll never get out in the field if you never get out of that. Get dressed, get up, get active, and go out there and just start the day. But overall, I don't ever I don't ever suggest anybody ever taking a time away, stay in the field, wipe it off, relax, jam out, go to the next door.
Do you guys know the hardest cold call of each day?
It's the
first
last
one?
No, the first one.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
We got one more question. Jessica.
Oh.
Who is this? Speak up.
Yeah. Okay. So, Jason, I don't believe you. You said your hair was on fire. I don't see any hair on you, man. I just blasted. I'm just kidding.
My hair's gone.
My name is
You burned
Wasim.
it all off.
Yeah, my name is Wasim, and we are a POS company with embedded payments. I heard quite a bit about cash discounting. Yeah. How do you compare surcharge with cash discounting when it comes to restaurants? Compare and contrast, actually.
The restaurants?
With surcharging and cash discounting, how do you compare and contrast?
Say that again?
How do you differentiate between
How do you differentiate
surcharging
between
and cash
surcharging
discounting?
and cash discounting?
You know, listen, if you go into my portfolio, I don't have any surcharging clients. Everybody's cash discount and dual pricing that I do put into those programs. So I don't know.
If you, I was that because I asked,
for you.
so Visa compliance, they put out, if you go to visa.com, they put out clear guidelines on what
Yeah.
they consider surcharging. In the beginning, whenever I believe they allowed people to start adding fees to credit card purchases, which was a provision of the Durbin Amendment, there wasn't the clear definition. And so it was kind of a gray area. Everybody started doing the non-cash adjustment, and even the surcharge would be printed on the receipts and things like that. You weren't allowed to do it. But now that Visa has the guidelines, the way I tell my customers is a surcharge is anytime that you go to a register and then they add a fee. If the price goes up, that's a surcharge. Cash discounting or dual pricing gives you both options on the screen, cash or credit. The cash discount is you all of your prices are your regular prices, and then if you go to the counter and pay with cash, you can get an automatic discount. So it's the terminal or the PO system, it kind of does the same thing. It adds a percentage, but the way that the signage is posted and the way you explain it or the merchant is saying it to their customers, that's what makes the difference.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to get ready for.
Well, speaking of cash,
Oh, you're just giving out all the cash.
Oh, my goodness. Cash.
I think that might help you with a cash discount. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Give the cash.
Is that cash
saying.
discount? Look
Just
at
saying.
that. Cash discount. Hey, can I ask a question to them and get some cash?
I mean,
Yeah, what do we get paid for as panelists?
All right, so we're going to get ready to take a little bit of an intermission. I've been in the industry for 2 decades, and I've learned one thing. The only way that you lose in this industry is by giving up and quitting. Whatever you quit at, you're not going to be good at. And so listening to these 4 guys with their 4 different perspectives, they're all successful. They've all done it a little different. You've heard it. But here's the thing. They've had a plan. They've implemented. And the one thing that all 4 of them are saying is that they believe in consistency. Whatever you're consistent at, you'll master. And so as we prepare to take a little bit of an intermission because the brain can only retain as much as the booty can sit down on a chair, I'll give you guys about 5 or 7 minutes to go out and have an intermission. And then we're going to come back with a second panel of some beautiful women. Because I know now most of you are like, well, I do the other street thing, but I want to build a team. I want to run an ISO. Well, do you really want to run an ISO? We're going to have the boys versus the girls. So Angela Suma is going to be coming to the stage next. She is my good friend from Paytech Women's, and she's going to have 4 dynamite women that are going to kill it. Make sure you stay because the questions are going to be more intricate and the money is going to go. See, the money from the passport program last year, y'all remember that? They made a mistake and gave that money to me. So I got envelopes for days. Y'all got to come back with the funding. And then in between time, we're going to have Flex Factor, who's our sponsor. They're going to do a quick 3 to 5 presentation. So we'll do this. We'll have since Gail has given us an extra 10 minutes on hers. You guys will come up at exactly 12:05, and then Angela will come. All right, take a little bit of intermission. 1, 2, 3. All right, everybody, we're going to take our seats if you can. Bring your conversations to a close. We got one more hour of doing this. Yo! There we go. Now you heard the big mouth dude. All right. Once again, take your seats. We're going to get started. I want to introduce our MLS sponsor, Flex Factor. They're going to tell you 3 to 5 minutes about what they do, and then we're going to start with our second panel.
All right, so I've got 4 minutes, so we need to be quiet. I want to thank Stephen and the MWAA team. They're great to work with. We're excited that we got to sponsor the MLS Forum, and I get to tell you a little bit about Flex Factor. So that's what I'm going to do. So rejection stinks. I think all of you know this, right? That's one of the worst things that can happen. And when we have card holders that come to our merchants and try to run cards and they get declined, it's not good. It doesn't feel good. For those of you who are football fans, there's some footballs out there, but every season there's that guy that is running across the goal line, celebrating before he hits it, and he fumbles before he gets across. And it's crazy. It happens every season. There's some guy that does that. That's what your customers feel like, or that's what your merchants feel like when they lose a sale at checkout, right? They've done all the work to get that customer there. They've spent money trying to get them there. They've got a cart that's full of products, and when they try to approve that transaction, it gets declined, and that stinks for everybody. It's not good for the merchant. It's not good for the customer. There's a lot of data around this that shows that if a customer gets declined, they will most likely not come back to that merchant. They also might go out and make comments, negative comments about that merchant as well. So this is what we're trying to address. We're trying to help recover some of those false declines that happen that should not be happening. For these customers that have credit cards, they have money on their cards, and they still get a decline, that's what we're here to help them with. So this is a gap that we are trying to fill here, is this real-time decline recovery solution. There's a lot of people out there that do pre-authorization stuff, right? There's a lot of pre-authorization analysis that happens and fraud awareness that happens before the transaction happens. There's also a bunch of post-authorization stuff that's out there. We are the only ones that are doing real-time at transaction recovery for declines. So we have built a system that ties into the checkout page. And as that decline happens, we can grab that transaction prior to the decline message going back to the cardholder and analyze that transaction. If we think we can get it to go through, we'll actually process the transaction and give the merchant approval before the cardholder gets the decline. And that's what's important. And we're being very successful at it. We've built some really cool AI and machine learning that can analyze that transaction within 2 seconds and return that approval back to the cardholder. And so we are trying to fill this gap and try to help your merchants get more transactions and less declines. The numbers right now show that they're about 50% of all declines are false declines, not declines that should actually be happening. So it's easy to set up. We want to work with you guys to provide this service to your merchants. So this is a value-added service that we can set up for your merchants. It also provides you with a revenue stream. So we will share the revenue that we have with you as we get your merchants up and running on the platform. Like I said, it's easy to set up. It's quick to configure. We turn it on, and it's revenue for the merchants immediately that they would not have been getting. So come by our booth, come visit us, grab a football here. If you didn't go in here, come to our booth and talk to us, and we can provide more information about it, how it works, and how we partner. Thank you.
Lower that a little. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the second half of the MLS Forum, and thank you to Stephen and all the guys. You did a fabulous job. My name is Angela Suma, and I'm from Bead.xyz. And this time we did a little differently. We split it up into 2 sessions, and it just happened to be all the men were on the first panel, and all the women are on the second panel. Right? So we have a full panel of high-profile powerhouse women here today who have not only sold merchant services, but 2 of them are CEOs of a merchant service company. One is a kick-ass in the high-risk space, and then we've got Eva here who has done merchant-level sales as well as working in a bank. So we want to help you guys increase your sales, make as much revenue as possible, and we want questions. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to have each of the panelists introduce themselves and tell you all who they are, and then we would love some questions from the audience and answer whatever questions that you might have today on how to grow your business, what other things to sell, and how to be successful in anything on your mind today. So we'll start with Deborah Lejeune here from Integrity Payments.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Deborah Lejeune. I'm CEO and founder of Integrity Payments Group, and I've been in payments for 17 years, but in banking 20 years before that.
I'm Jenna Padilla with Goat Payments, and I have been in payments 25 years. It's all I've ever known. And I'm very thankful to be here. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be on this panel.
Good morning. I am Jody Durst. I'm the president of Pay, and I am going to age myself because I am trained, I think, 27th year in payments.
And my name is Eva Powers, and I work for Old National Bank and Merchant Services. And I'm actually probably newer than many of the group. I've been in payments about 4 years.
Well, thank you all for being here today. We're very excited to have you. We're going to start this off with some more money because we are giving out some money today thanks to MWAA. We would like to know, MWAA this year has had registrations from 44 states and 6 countries. So we want to know who has traveled the farthest to get here today. So question for all of you. Do any of you think you traveled the farthest today? None of you. San Diego? Anybody farther than San Diego? Eureka. It's both California. One's on south, one's north. Savannah, Georgia? I think you're close. You're closer than our California friends over here. Say it again. Oh, yeah, you had to go somewhere else. Come here, that doesn't count. Where did you originate? Alaska. All right. We have a winner. Yep, he already got it.
Who's Alaska? You're Alaska?
Close to California.
Where in Alaska are you from?
Just Anchorage.
Just Anchorage. How many stops to get here?
Seattle.
Okay, good. Cheers, Alaska Airlines. Great. Well, congratulations. You're a winner.
Wonderful. Does anybody have a question? Otherwise, we have some questions that came in on the Paycast network. You have a question over here, Jessica?
Am I down already? Where's the question? Raise your hand. Oh, okay. Good. I'm going to get my step in today. You don't want to see me run. I'm probably going to trip on 3 bags on the way. Your name?
Thomas.
Thomas, where are you from?
California, from Orange County.
Then you definitely win the prize. But what's your question?
So I have a really good friend who started doing payments with me. The female. So many men at least that I see in this industry. What would you suggest to her? Do you have any advice for me to pass on to her when it comes to being a female in this industry?
I love this question, and we were actually going to wait till the end for this question, but we will do it now since you asked, because it is quite odd to have a panel of all females in the industry. I'm sure when some of them started, they were the only woman in the room on many occasions, right? And there's been a lot of growth in this industry, and I've been part of it. I've been in payments for about 15 years. My background is actually software. So my background is startups. I was a day one employee at GoDaddy. I like high functioning software that will help all businesses. So I got into payments because software is the start and talk to payments, right? And so it was a natural progression for me, but I'm always a software at heart, startup at heart kind of girl. So I was the only one at the table, right? And I'll let the women give their answers as well, how I found, and I'll go back to how I found a community of women in a few years ago. So let's start with you, Deborah. What has been your experience? And
since I started in banking and commercial banking, that was a lot of, a male-oriented group of people as well. And I just kind of went in and said, I'm a high performer just like you are, and I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to run after the same thing you're running after and make it happen. But I think there are great women that I've come across in my career that have taught me to be very supportive of other women, and to make sure to hype them up and to let them know that, find a mentor, find someone who will, really hold your hand and work you through those hard conversations.
What about you?
It's a very hard question to answer because I've never looked at payments in terms of being the only female in the room. I think just numbers wise, there's just not a lot of us anyway in sales or in payments. So it kind of skews the numbers in the room a little bit. But I would say this, and you can take this with a grain of salt. If you can make money for someone, you will be the most important person in the room. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a female. So the way that I've come at payments is really about the money. I mean, that's why we're all here. And I think if you come at payments thinking you're the only female in the room, or what do I do about that? Really, I think the best mindset to have is how can you contribute to that team, be the best at what it is that you're contributing with and for, make money for someone else, so that way you can open the doors for yourself and have the background and the tenure, or not the tenure, but money talks money. So you can usually get into a lot of rooms a lot faster if you're making money for yourself and for other people. So you can take that with a grain of salt. I don't tend to spend a lot of time in that mindset, and I've been in payments 25 years. So I think that advice to your business partner would be focus less on the gender aspect of it and focus more on how you're going to make money in the company and what that looks like.
You want to give it a...
Sure. I was just thinking about that. I had someone ask me a few years ago who was my mentor, in payments, and I didn't have a female mentor because there just wasn't a lot. So I do mimic what Deborah says, go out and find somebody that can mentor you. But like Jenna, I'm going to agree with her. I never sat around and thought about the fact that I was the only female in the room, because let's be honest, there's lots of days I'm still the only female in the room. So just don't get hung up on it and keep walking through it.
Yeah, my advice would be one thing really worked for me well in the very beginning. And in the very beginning, I was 100% commission, so I wasn't always at the bank. So I wasn't in the streets, as Stephen would say, for a couple of years. So I focused on networking. I immediately, probably my first week, I was looking for any networking groups I could get into to meet people in the community. I didn't know anybody, so that was, and that worked very well for me. So, and I agree with all three panelists. Is with the mentorship is huge.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with you that it's not a gender thing, right? Anybody that is highly passionate, hardworking can do this job, right? It doesn't matter what gender you are, as long as you got to be a special kind of person to be in payments, right? But it doesn't matter what your gender, race, ethnicity is. You just have to be a high performer, like a D1 sports, right? You just need to put in a lot of work, and things are changing all the time. So you need to learn and grow and keep learning. One thing that I actually found was I didn't mind being the only woman in the room. I have brothers. I act like a dude. Like, I can hang with the dudes. I go to games, right? So for me, I never saw the difference until a few years ago when my body started doing things that men's bodies don't do. And so at that time, my CEO was like, I cannot help you with this. And I'm like, you're right, you can't. So I joined an organization called Paytech Women, and it has been around for 20 years, and I only joined it a few years ago because I didn't want to separate myself. I didn't want it to be a man versus female. I wanted to just be around women that were experiencing the same thing as I was, so that I could get some help being in this environment. I could talk to my friends, but none of them work in this environment. It's much different to be in this environment than it is somewhere else. So I would really suggest finding that network, whether it's Paytech Women or another organization, just that she can have these conversations. And the networking that you get from going out and meeting these people, it pays for itself. It really does. It's a great organization. So I'd find something like that.
And I might have something that could go towards a down payment for a Paytech Women membership for your colleague. Or you can take her to lunch, either way.
Does anyone else have a question? Come on, no questions? We got a couple over here.
Okay, where am I going first?
At the woman.
We go first. We're going to you first. I saw you first. Okay, hold on.
As a woman in payments, when would you say it's the right time to make the transition into becoming an ISO or something of that sort? And then how do you go back to the processors and things that like haven't compensated you fairly or haven't paid on agreements? Do you get an attorney involved, and when you see it's worth doing that?
So two loaded questions.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
The first one is really female driven. I think it can relate to anybody. You want to take that one on?
Sure. I think only you know when you're ready, but I would also say, take that chance, bet on yourself and go for it. I co-founded my own company, and I had really done a background in all different areas within payments. So I think I got to see every side of payments, from true credit card, ACH, stored value, through the years. And it rounded me out for getting ready to own my own company. And then just get prepared to do a lot of hard work. Can't sugarcoat that. It's a tough road, but it's definitely worth it.
I can pop in on the attorney side and contract and protecting yourself. Those are some of the biggest mistakes I made in my early days, was thinking I could read the contract and make sure that I was completely protected. And, then I kind of got to the point where I said, I will not sign a contract until it's been reviewed by someone who can protect me better than I can protect myself. And so that's something that can hurt you or help you in the early days. And it seems like an expense that you're not ready to spend, but it's a lot more expensive when you make those mistakes.
As someone who's registered ISOs for a good portion of my career, I think the question to ask is, why do you want to register to be an ISO? And would that help you sell more? Does your logo being on a statement mean anything to the merchant at the end of the day, or did they acquire a business and build that relationship with you and whatever your business name is? So I will leave you with this to make that decision. There's three major economies headed right for us. There's an experience economy, there's a wellness economy, and there's a gig economy. The wellness economy, in the next 36 months, you're looking at $10 trillion of new business. In the gig economy, you're looking at roughly, in the next 6 year stretch, $3.5 trillion. In an experience economy, 2.5, roughly, in the next 6 years, $1 trillion of business. Look at the restaurant business. Day-to-day operators, 10 to 12,000 a year of new operators, 17% of which will close their doors first year. 5 years, let's look ahead. How much in money are they predicted to generate in revenue? 158 estimate right now in 5 years of business, in billions, not trillions, billions. So if you're looking at being an ISO right now, I'd say, to me, where I would spend my time is really focused on growing my expertise, my knowledge, and my salesmanship, building alliances and strategic partners with those that can design and strategically help me get into the markets that are coming right for us. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck solving for kitchen printers in the next 5 years for possible businesses that won't even be up and running, possibly. Not to not support local business, but we're in here to generate residual, and you're in here to generate a livelihood and a business. So I would consider the data, and I'd also that up and say, whatever you do, get an attorney to look at your agreement. Whatever you do. The biggest problem I see right now is people send me AI red lines. They're the worst. They end up having to go to an attorney anyway. And so I would say, even in your smallest agreement, that's a 2-pager, a referral agreement, take it to somebody to look at. That money will return itself to you. Down the road, it might seem like a little bit of excessive income to spend right now, but at least you can sleep at night and know you always get paid. And at minimum, you've had a professional take a look at it.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I'm going to tag on to this one a little bit because we had a pre-question about this on how do you go from being a single contributor or a single contributor with a small team to building an ISO? And is it for everybody? You know, what would you say to people that want to transition to be an ISO? Should they, or should they just resell multiple ISOs at once, right? What's your suggestion?
So mine was a little bit by accident. I started as a single person, just, working in certain verticals, using my banking background to solve really complicated problems. And then I got busier and busier, and then my residuals kept growing and growing and growing. And I was just shocked, I can't keep up with my time or my money. And I just kept adding people and adding people and adding people until the point where, we had the right mix, the right team. And my motivation starting out as a single person was to not have to work for someone that I didn't believe in their values, and that I didn't have to do things that I felt I was selling my soul to do. And so, I went from working for others as president of multiple ISOs, and then going out on my own, and then building the company back up, little by little, one person at a time, until I figured out this is where our roadmap is going.
What about you?
I think for me personally, I always had the desire to have my own company. So I was driven to make that next step, that next leap. But I think a lot of people need to go in with your eyes open. Nobody talks about those middle years that are so hard. I mean, I literally moved back home and lived in my parents' house. There was really tough years. So you just have to be prepared for it. I also think that's why some of the companies fail, is because they're not committed enough to go through those really hard times, because they will be there. Or maybe you're the lucky one that, has instant success, but it's not usually that way. It usually takes a lot of pivots, a lot of failures, learning from your mistakes and being okay with a mistake. I don't mind getting it wrong, because it's going to teach me something.
And don't get it wrong, I've worked with both these ladies. They're salespeople. And I think if you want to be a successful ISO, remember it's independent sales organization, not operational organization. And that's where a lot of ISOs get stuck, is all of a sudden they want to become an operational organization. So if you speak to Deborah after this show, or if you speak to Jody after this show, you will find out very quickly they are sales people. And so even if you want to be an ISO, but be so good at sales. Don't be really great at operational. You're paying your processor for something. They need to do a responsibility as well. And that is to allow you the runway to sell and build a residual. And you'll see Deborah, the way she built her residual was selling. She wasn't there updating paperwork all day. No. So just be very careful not to get stuck in that cycle. You can easily become an independent operational organization and not a sales organization.
Yeah, and Eva, you went from a sales rep selling merchant services into a bank. How was that transition for you?
Yeah, well, I definitely learned out in the field. So I was able to learn the basics. Being at a bank now, it does look a little bit different, but I'm still needing to assist the client with getting them into the right solutions for payments. It isn't always an easy yes for me. And I'm still using all those basics that I learned in the very beginning. So yeah, it does look a little bit different being at a bank, but I do really, really enjoy it, because again, I enjoy the problem solving that we do as salespeople when we're meeting with a business owner. That's what kind of keeps me going every day. It's still a very dynamic environment. You never know what that next phone call is going to be coming in the next day. Could be, a large organization needing a solution. So that's why I continue to do those things that I do. So,
yeah, great. All right, we got some more questions, Jessica. Oh, over here.
I wanted to grab this gentleman over here.
Josh from ClearTech here. Great discussion. This is awesome. I was going to ask a question actually about, I have a new salesperson. They've been with us for a couple months at this point. They are really appreciating like sitting in their car, listening to like podcasts, audiobooks, things like that to get them going, knocking on doors. Just interested, are there any like newsletters, podcasts, books you would recommend for, that salesperson that's knocking on doors, just needs that little boost. They want to stay motivated. Just anyone that you guys look to, female or otherwise.
I love that question. And I'm just going to give a shout out to the Paycast network over here who is streaming this whole thing live right now. Ladies, do you have any favorite podcasts that you listen to?
Well, shout out to Chase, obviously, with Paycast. As a female salesperson, I really like Layla Hormozi. I tend to watch a lot of her podcasts and feedback on just presenting in business. And that's been a great one. I'm on a podcast called Girls Just Wanna Have Funds. And we do interview up and coming and established businesses. And so Paytech Women will be there this year. We're really, really excited about. But I think resonating and finding a podcast that speaks to you, where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to solve, who you want to be, probably the best path to finding where you want to spend your time.
Any industry specific newsletters or anything that you guys subscribe to? Like MPC is one.
It's hard. I all think it's spam sometimes or fraud, so I'm very careful what to sign up for.
Yeah.
But obviously, if my own partners have their own newsletters, I actually sign up for those because they're usually doing some really great things that I love to know about.
Yeah, the green sheet, right?
Digital payments. I used to, I relate to that kind of sitting in the car, getting ready to go knock those doors. And I used to pick a vertical for the day, and I would prepare specifically for that vertical so that I'd research all the hot topics for that particular vertical, common concerns for that type of industry, and I would have come up with some type of question that when I saw that decision maker in person, I could focus on certain things and knowing what kinds of questions specific to their industry to ask. So when I, be in the car preparing, I guess I would listen to or read about specific to that particular vertical.
Good idea. All right, go ahead. Wherever you want.
There's a gentleman in the back.
I'm going to grab this lady in the front, and then I will grab the gentleman in the back because you had your hand up more than once, and I appreciate your tenacity.
Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to say that my team consists of 15 people, out of which 2 are men. So 13 of us are women. And piggybacking on the lady's question, how do you know that you're ready to become an ISO? My question is one step higher on the ladder. How do you know that you're ready to become a wholesale bin acquirer?
Great question. So we've got.
Just to add that we've been an ISO for 15 years, just for background.
Okay.
I've just recently made that transition over to PayFac. So it was definitely a decision around our business model and what fit us better. But we also have the ISO relationship still intact today. So it just truly is for the merchant base that we are covering today. And we have the mechanics to actually do underwriting and associate risk a little bit different than what you see in the industry. So that was one of the biggest drivers, is we feel like we're prepared for the next future of payments, of what we see coming with agentic commerce and just the way the world is changing very, very rapidly.
I have a little bit of a different perspective on that, because we deal in, everybody says high risk, but we deal in hard to place, and we need various different credit policies and bank sponsors to be able to get these industries that we serve done. And I'm not talking about, the $10,000 a month e-commerce, subscription. It's more the larger merchants, enterprise merchants, or specific industries like debt repayment and things like that. And so we chose not to become a wholesale BIN owner because we did not want to be constrained by one bank's credit policies.
Great point. And that is she brings up an excellent point that even retail ISOs are starting to discover as we move through the transition of hard to risk, emergent, prohibited, restricted. Call it what you want. Your primary bank is not going to approve it, nor do they have an appetite to do it. So if you're going to go down the wholesale road, I would definitely ask yourself, what type of verticals are you trying to target first? Because if you're trying to target verticals whereby, like Deborah was saying, your bank still has to shadow, even though you're doing the underwriting, they still have a say in what it is that you're proposing to build and bring into your house. So I would be very cautious about understanding where the data is right now. What a wholesale ISO is going to look like today is not what a wholesale ISO is going to look like in 5 years. So I would think about it in terms of, what do I want to be in 5 years? What financial institution or sponsor bank is going to help me get there? And to Deborah's point, we do business that go with a lot of wholesale ISOs. And the reason why I do business with wholesale ISOs is because they have doubled down on 1 or 2 or 3 banks, and that's still not enough. And with the way that the data is looking right now with new emerging verticals, hard to place verticals, I would express to any wholesale or retail, today, when you walk in the showroom, you need to select partnerships that don't kill the conversation with these 4 words. What is my split? You will kill your relation. You've already put yourself in a position that is not going to serve you or your purpose in the future of whatever it is that you're trying to build. What you need to ask them is, how can you help me sign the next 10 deals? What is it that you do that I don't do that you can help me with? So if you decide to be a wholesale ISO, be really good at it, decide what verticals you want to specifically target. And if you think that that particular sponsor bank is not going to meet those demands for you, you should probably consider be a wholesale ISO, but also consider you're going to need additional alliances to pick up the slack on these other verticals. And Deborah knows this very well. Jody knows this very well because she has built an ISO from scratch on all of these concepts as well. So I would just tell you, great. And by the way, congratulations, you've been an ISO for that long. Yeah. Good for you. Taking the leap to wholesale, it's a great question. But it's really an answer you have to answer for yourself based on your business model, not if you feel like you're ready. Nobody's ready. No. Especially when you get a fraudster that comes in for $50,000 and that's coming out of your bank account. You're never ready for that. So a lot of that is just really within yourself. What are you prepared to do? What are you prepared to sign in the next 5 years?
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, so is this a really good question?
It is a really good question.
A really good question. Okay.
Hey, I'm Michael with the Gatling Group. Steven's my guy. You all guys are ISO owners. What do you think about some ISOs partnering and selling Square? As someone who's been in the industry for quite a long time, came from First American as a W-2 employee, now 1099. Square's the end. Always has been. So what do you think about ISOs and people partnering and selling Square?
That is a good question.
Anybody want to take?
I'll take that question. I just gave you the facts and data on restaurants. And that data is not far on the retail side. I think that being a reseller for Square is one more tool that our community should embrace. Yeah, we were kind of iced out before, but I don't think that's a bad thing. There's a lot of SaaS companies that are out there who have iced out the third parties and have brought us right back in because we serve a value and a purpose. And they build residual for you. Are you going to turn down that mom and pop that wants to use Square? Sometimes you got to sell people what they ask for. If they want a Clover, you give them a Clover. If they want a Square, now you can say yes. I don't think it's a bad thing. And I think harboring they're an enemy, who cares? If they contribute to your residuals, that's all that matters. And they're willing to do that right now. So take advantage of it. You've got a 5-10 year stretch of operators, 10,000, 12,000 operators, new operators that are ready to go in the restaurant business. The opportunity in the lane is yours to take. Whether you take it or not is up to you.
This gentleman over here has been waiting quite a. Can you make it all the way over there? What is it? It's like the Wayne Bird with the.
Oh, it's fine. I can be patient. Kim Mack with the Gatler Group, another one of Steven's guys. But I definitely see this was a panel of savvy and just phenomenal excellence. Again, these guys back here. But all that being said, question, with all the history you've had in the payment industry, what has really attributed to, if you could pick one success that stands out and something that you carry day to day, let me pull from that, that win. What was that, and what you use daily that we can all take with it as well?
What is your name, by the way?
Ken.
Ken, thank you for being patient. For the microphone.
Thank you for being patient, Ken.
That's a great question. It is. By the way, you should definitely start.
Well, I focused on my strengths and the things I know from my background. I came in payments late. I mean, I was in my 40s when I came to payment. I had a whole career in healthcare prior to that. So I knew healthcare operations. I understood the retail piece of healthcare in certain verticals. I understood forwards and backwards. So that's what I focused. I focused on, meeting with healthcare offices, anything from one small practice all the way up to large hospital organizations. That's where I went because I understood the full revenue cycle. So I think if you came into payments and you did something prior to that, whether you knew marketing, whether you knew the schools, universities, if you worked in restaurants, if you're comfortable in the restaurant industry, go for it because you can speak the language, you can talk the talk. So I think leaning into your strengths and being able to speak to those businesses, that's worked very well for me, for sure.
I think for me, it was embracing technology. I'm been in payments, I guess, the longest on stage, but I remember when e-commerce, transitioned and everything went to the e-commerce world, and then stored value and some of those shifts, and we are in that shift today. We are going to see a huge transformation around agentic commerce. I would say go out and embrace technology and really get prepared for what's coming, because it's going to change our fraud, how we underwrite everything. When you've got an agent shopping for you, it's a whole different experience that we have never dealt with in our lifetime. So I would say go embrace technology.
So what I would tell Ken is personally enjoy doing all the things I hate to do. And I've got really satisfied with saying yes to things I'm super uncomfortable. I didn't be on the channel, but I said yes because it's super uncomfortable. But I live in a sales lifestyle. And I think for the most part, anybody in sales will tell you, some of the better salespeople will tell you, they're never good enough. Whatever sale they did, they never celebrate because there's still a sale tomorrow to do. And they live in a very particular ecosystem of mindset. It's very different than the everyday person walking down the street. And I think it's a strength, but I also think that for myself, I have found the money is where I'm doing the things I just don't like. I don't like asking for a promotion. I don't like asking for more money. I don't like making other people uncomfortable in a room. I don't like being confrontational. I don't like fighting for myself, but I do all those things because that is what's keep you in the lifestyle or the mindset or the whatever it is that is important to you. So I think for any of the men here who struggle with, what do I do about promotion or, maybe not paid, compensated the right way. To me, and this sounds easy, but if you don't like your situation, just leave. Go do something else and do something else better for you that pays more, or maybe not. Maybe it's more personally satisfying. But I think for most women in payments, if they just got out of their head for just a moment and just do what you want to do, it would probably open a lot more doors for a lot of people in general, just not women.
And I'll add to that, for something that I feel like our company more successful than, and it has really contributed to the difference, is we became verticalized. And so in verticals that we really serve, they're underserved, highly regulated, and we became compliance experts. And taking a card from a banking background, you always want your client to be successful so they can repay you and you can make money off of them. And so, we've taken these verticals that have not gotten a lot of attention from payment companies and processors and said, we can solve the problems rather than cut your rate. And so oftentimes we're going and fixing authorization problems. We're going and fixing compliance problems. I looked at an account the other day and they had a 37-to-1 off to settlement ratio. People who are just going and saying, I'm going to save you 10 basis points, they're not looking to solve those problems. And so staying really up to date in the compliance side and into the new technology that has left others behind. There are industries that get the best of the technology, and then there are industries that you have to go out and find it and repurpose it for that industry. And that's really what we do, is we go and find technology and resources to help make industries that are underserved better.
Yeah, I think that's all great. Speaking on the technology portion, I think that it's important for you guys to stay ahead of the technology for your merchants. Right? You want to know more than your merchants do so that you can go in there and help them. I will do a personal plug here. I work for a company called Bead.xyz. It offers crypto, digital wallet, buy now, pay later right on the terminal and at checkout. This is the future of technology. This is coming. Your merchants don't want to learn this. Your merchants don't want to learn anything about crypto or have a wallet or anything. Right? But if you can just write in the checkout, they get paid in US dollars. They don't need to learn anything. You are now bringing more value to your merchants and to yourselves with revenue offering those new things, right? And the technology piece, whether it's a vertical that you're in and you're specializing in verticals, or you're like Stephen and you're all over the place going door to door to any business, it's good to know how they operate, right? You're going to need to know what software they use. How do they do their business? Do you connect with that software? Does the terminal connect with that software? There's a lot of questions that go into each vertical specific market. So knowing your verticals, I think, is very important. Any other questions?
Let's get a question from the side of the room, because I feel like
We got one up here in the front.
Let's see, who's in front? Who's in front? Raise your. Oh, you already asked a question.
It's another question.
I can't pay you every time, okay? But if you have a good question, let's hear it.
Only one prize per
Thank you.
question.
No, actually, I only have a question. I need the money. Thank you. I got $100 last time. Thank you. There's such a complex infrastructure out there. It starts from the banks, then I've heard of Paytech, I've heard of ISOs, agents, then there is the processors, right? So how do you deconstruct this in terms of, if I have to start, do I start as an agent and then become an ISO? How do I go up? And then I'm hearing the stable coin nowadays, and what's that?
That's a great question. So starting as an independent sales agent.
I mean, the first place, the first place you
something
need to start, you need to start to decide, do you want to stay an agent? Do you want to sell software? What do you want to be? Who do you want to be? If you decide you want to be an ISO, probably starting on the retail side is the smartest thing to do. You don't have to do much investment on that part of it, and you can grow your sales organization. And at that point, you're just finding yourself a front-end partner and a back-end partner. And now there's so many choices. I mean, we can go into the showroom floor and you're going to find everybody is the bridge to what used to be a direct model, straight to the front end and straight to the back end.
And now you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You could. You can get a direct deal with any front end and a direct deal with any bank. Or you can bridge the gap and work with someone else who's already put the money and the revenue into the operational side. Does that help you grow your sales organization? Or are you looking to build an organization of operations and software development, being a point of sale space? So if you decide to do that, the next question is going to be, when do I become a wholesale ISO? When do I become a PayFac? It's in this here.
But it's also incredibly more expensive.
Yeah, it does get more expensive. Yeah.
To be an ISO. You
Yeah.
don't just get a bunch of sales and then say I'm going to be an ISO.
No, there is an investment in the registration process itself, but the things that ISOs need to look into now is what Jody, for instance, with Chain It is doing. It's not just selling the front end and back end. Now you've got opportunity to shift buyers from or prepare merchants for digital and mobile payments. That's a different conversation than I were having 10 years ago. Now you need to work with verticalized merchants that are in a complex arena that need complex solutions, that things that Deborah is solving. I would say out of all of us on this panel right now, I think Jody is probably in the best seat to solve for a lot of fraudulent opportunity that is about to occur in the next 6 to 8 years. And so I think as you think about being an ISO, a retail ISO, a wholesale ISO, a PayFac, you need to think about the investment, but also what are you solving and who are you solving it for? Because mobile and digital is coming right for us. And this gentleman mentioned Square, and Square is great. It's a great software and it's going to do what it does. But in the next 6 years, the new generation of entrepreneurs are not saying, I want to use Square. They're wanting to open an e-commerce shop. They want to create an experience. They want to cater to the ultra white glove, ultra, rich type of K economy of high ticket, a very verticalized type of merchant. So there is quite a bit of investment. I think right now, in my humble opinion, a lot of ISOs need to start thinking already 6 years ahead what digital and mobile and verticals are going to be headed right square for you. No pun intended. And although everybody's concerned with being an ISO and retail ISO and all that, you can find that in the room right now. You could sign a deal. Anybody's going to give you a deal. What's going to be important to you is how you're going to get there, how you're going to stay there, and what is lifetime residuals. Lifetime is residuals is how long that merchant's going to stay in business. It's not forever. It's however long that vertical is going to survive. So right now, I think is a great opportunity for us to align yourself with verticalized partners, with digital and mobile payments. This didn't exist 10, 15 years ago. You're in such a special position because you're in a special position to find alliances and experts that didn't even exist. So if you want to grow, right now is the best time to grow. And in that showroom floor, you're going to find everybody you can to make that happen.
All right, well, I think we have the answer. I've got another question right over here.
Okay. Hi, I've been in the industry for 12 years now after 10 years in banking.
Good for
And
you.
thank you. In the last 4 years, I've found myself tunneled into restaurants. It just kind of happened. Dual pricing made it really easy. The problem I'm having at the moment, or the thing that I'm asking about and I'm trying to wrap my head around, is pricing has been wonderful, but now you have Spot On out there telling people, well, we'll just charge the merchant we'll charge the customer 4%, we'll give you 1% back, and then you'll still have a flat rate of 3%. That's just the worst idea for the entire industry, in my opinion, because then we're back down to the race to the bottom again, and I don't even think there's a legality to it. Like, they're not allowed to be making money from their processing. What is your take on that?
My take is what the boys said. There's a lot of riffraff, and there's not anything we can do about it. I'm not here to solve for the riffraff, but I will tell you, you should always stick to your solution-based selling, your legal solution-based selling, because nobody can question you about that. Unfortunately, welcome to the ISO business. There's a lot of riffraff. And I think that if you focus on your core value and what you're solutioning for, probably staying in that lane and not spending too much time on the riffraff. But also, I would encourage you to start looking at e-commerce and those restaurant merchants what it is today and what it is they can do tomorrow, maybe on an e-com space, maybe catering, maybe an experience, maybe a pop-up. That probably would serve the merchant better as being more of an advisory service to them than trying to explain to them the 1% that they are illegal getting. But good for you and congratulations being in the payment space for so long.
I think we have time for one more question up here in front.
Let's give a shout out for all these great questions we've had. They've been and answers. Hi. Is this a really good question? Because I mean, we can't end a three. Listen, we got more programs.
The boys didn't get through very quickly.
I mean, this is like, multi-paragraph. You didn't chat this while you were waiting, did you? Okay, good. All right, let's hear what you got.
Hi, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Marco. I'm coming from a different industry. I'm a POS salesman. So we find merchants and help them out with the POS, and then kind of payment processing comes lumped up with that. So my question is, how to help merchant with chargebacks, especially on online orders? That's a big thing. Somebody orders $150 in food and, hey, chargeback on online, they can. So that's one thing. And the second thing is we see a lot of merchants that are struggling, that are tied into these long contracts with unrealized revenue clauses and, times clocked in. So it's always a struggle how to help out those guys. Like I had the merchant, like if they wanted to switch to POS, they would have to pay $50,000 to get out. So your 2 cents on these two topics.
I have a million things to say, but you want to take it, Eva?
I guess the first part of that question about the chargebacks, I would say that it's important to understand what puts the merchants at risk for chargebacks and be very clear about all of the things that they can do to reduce their risk of that. There's going to be chargebacks out there, especially if they're taking a phone in order or there are ways that they can reduce their risk of that and minimize that. So I would just really communicate, make sure that I'm, letting them know all the risks and giving them solutions that can reduce their risks on that as best as possible.
Do you have I'll answer it. I mean, I come from a different world where we're actually improving identity. Who is making that sale and who is on receiving end. So it's all biometrics, and so it's pretty hard to have a chargeback when you have all of that data and it's tokenized on the blockchain, so you have an immutable record of it. So I think go look for those solutions because they are out there and could really help change your business.
And for the software side of it, it's nice to have these features in it because your software is automatically flagging those as they come in. So they know that buyer is in India and the IP address is in Canada, right? They check that information to make the risk lower.
I mean, did they get free equipment? I think sometimes the previous processor is not exactly fair because they go in there to win the deal. And I think sometimes you go in and say, oh, they really screwed you over. Well, what did you get? Because it's very unfair to immediately say, this guy did you wrong, did you dirty. A lot of times they're investing their own money in the restaurant themselves. And so, yeah, contractually, they're probably going to put something in there that protects them as well, especially if they got 10-point sales. I mean, obviously, they don't want to see them leave if it's at that time in my mind. And chargebacks, I would just say quickly, there's plenty of tools that you can utilize to inject or annihilate into a market.
All right, so we're almost out of time. I have one final gift to give away, so I'm going to ask the ladies. We might all be in agreement on guess it, but would you have a input? I'm thinking the lady in the front here is the one that gets the final.
Mrs. Retail for 10? All right.
Yes. You get another one.
Double down.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions. We appreciate it. Thank you to the Midwest Buyers Association for having us. Thank you for the other panelists and Stephen Morris, my co-host of the MLS Forum. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to come up and ask. And thank you to the Paycast Network and Chase and Ian for streaming this live. We're happy to be. Thank you.
Angela, don't we have a grand prize giveaway too?
I'm so sorry.
Everyone needs to stick around for just a second because Stephen's coming back.
Works. Because of
You're not. You gotta drink.
I'm quoting.
It might be
I don't go to the strip club. I don't know how it works.
it looks like this. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. See what's happening here.
Keep the gun.
Okay. All right. Okay. It's a grand prize. You can do the announcement.
You shoot my gun.
That's
I don't know. Yeah, shoot my gun. All right, there's a grand prize for the person who registered. Remember, you guys had to have a promo.
Oh, I'm out.
All the money's up at the front. Don't cry too hard. So our winner of the grand prize is, you got to be present to win, by the way. All right. Gennaro Coraverbias is your name. Is that
There we go.
Gennaro.
Congratulations. Now,
Don't spin it all in one place.
there's a little spin on the on our theatrical moment here. Okay, so among the now, we're Midwest. Okay, so this isn't Beverly Hills. Those aren't all real $100 bills. However, please don't use the motion picture money to go anywhere, in the surrounding areas. But if you have a keen eye, because you're all salespeople and you all have an eye for detail, and you all have tenacity.
If they're real salespeople, they'll know the real money from the fake money.
Exactly. But there is some real money interspersed in what is just put on the floor. So let's make it rain and let's have a really great show, guys.
Let's have a really good
Can we have
show.
a huge round of applause? Let's go.